Hello, everybody. Good evening. So tonight we're talking to a bunch of folks who are all involved in the All the Way Up event at Peabody Heights this weekend on Saturday. I think it's like we'll double check time, but I feel like it's like a pretty all-encompassing thing. We're gonna find out, but like I think it goes from like 12 to 9, and at night there's comedians, and during the day there's talks and dancing and beer, everything that you need to know. So I honestly don't have know a lot about what's happening with this, except I reached out to Trinice Watts, who's one of the people starting, and I was like, I feel like people should know about this. So if you need a platform to talk about it a couple days out, I'm willing to do it. So that is what we're doing right now. So without further ado, we're going to bring up Angela Gonzalez, Amethyst,
And during the day, there's
Gaston,
talks and
and
dancing and beer,
Holden,
everything.
the Black Beer Geek. So there you go. And then we're waiting on Trinice. I think she has a thing with her daughter happening, and I think Finn, Poor Baltimore, might be joining us as well. He's always doing something, so I don't know who knows. He's always out and about. So why don't we start with Angela, who is the person of all the folks on this thing, I know she is. You're the founder of the Puerto Rican Rums in Frederick, correct?
Actually, my name is Angela Gonzalez Samorino from Peru. Thank you for having us today. It's an amazing night to be able to share this amazing event that's coming out this Saturday. Courtney, sending you a lot of love. My craft girl Amethyst, thank you so much for putting this together. I think like getting together all the women and people that represented in our community is so important. I work at Puerto Rico Distillery. I'm part of the production team, as also learning how to distill. Shout out to Puerto Rico Distillery in Frederick, Maryland. It's a family-owned business, and what they do is traditional Puerto Rican moonshine. Which is something that is a sipping rum that you drink in the island, and it's part of our traditions, dance, and cultural part of Puerto Rico. It's something that you want to sip with your family, with your friends. I'm originally from Peru, like I told you, and I'm from Maryland, right here in the area of Montgomery County.
Nice. I used to raise alpacas, so I got to throw that in. Anytime I talk to somebody from Peru, we had the folks from Montenegro on. Do you know them? That brewery, and he's I think he's I don't want to screw this up, but he might be Peruvian too. So welcome. So what are you doing at this event?
So All the Way Up event is actually when Amethyst mentioned about this an amazing idea of putting together a multicultural event that is going to raise up the awareness for our community. My money was just, yes, I'll do it. I am an Afro descendant. I dance Afro-Peruvian music from our country. I'm original from Lima. However, I have also had the opportunity to go and fly to Puerto Rico and get a certification dancing bomba from Loiza by Taller in Zambia. That is actually the director, Sheila Osorio. I had an amazing opportunity to learn more about their culture, more about the festivities, the meaning of dancing, because a lot of times we just feel that dancing is just kind of like you move your body, but in our culture, it has a lot of meaning to be able to share the part of heritage and tradition. I am really honored to be able to be a Latina, also a woman, and also an Afro descendant that can continue cultivate this part of such a beautiful heritage. Back in the day, our ancestors never had the opportunity to be able to be right here and speak up as women of a person of color. So this is the opportunity to be educating our community through art and through dance, and what is the meaning of what we dance. I am grateful to be an Afro descendant and to be able to stand here and be sharing this, because back in the day, nobody had that opportunity. Nobody had the opportunity to have that freedom, that happiness that we have right now. And a lot of times we take it for granted. So this is an amazing opportunity, and I'm going to be presenting an Afro-Peruvian dance, but I'm also going to bring our traditional box drumming, which is called the cajon, And just for you guys information, if you don't know what the cajon is a drumming box. It's actually this box right here.
Okay.
Our ancestors used to actually use when they used to communicate between tribes in the plantations back in the day. Not only that, but this box represented the boxes that our brothers and sisters used to carry food and oil in the ships when they were transported as a slave through all Latin America. So this is what's going on Saturday, and I am so excited and grateful to be part of such an amazing event organized by powerful and amazing women.
And speaking of, Trinice is with us. Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
What's happened? A long time.
I know, I came right in on time. Go ahead, Angela. Tell them how we're going to do it on the second.
So, it's going to be dance, it's going to be cajon, but not only that, the best part of this presentation is going to be engaging with our brothers and sisters on Saturday. So you do not want to miss this event. It is something that you're going to experience for the first time, and I am so happy because I've been dancing since I
Well, that's awful. Oh, I'm back.
in a
It's
spiritual.
always tough when the host is out of luck with this with what's happening. Am I back? I think I'm back. Oh, am I back now? I think I'm back. Am I back now? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right, Trinice, tell us about this. This is a Lifting Lucy benefit. So tell us what's Lifting Lucy? Let's put it that way. Let's start there.
Uh-oh.
Well, Amethyst can do it until
I can talk about all the way up, but Lifting Lucy is really Trinice's project. I am just the person who loves to put A, B, and C together and make a word. So until Trinice comes back, Trinice, Ashley, and Sarah are three very incredible women who, through their connection at the Brewers Association, put together Lifting Lucy, which is a nonprofit that is focused on BIWOC, which is Black, Indigenous, women of color in the fermented beverage space, providing additional support via scholarship and education beyond what the Pink Boots traditionally can provide. So they are more focused and narrowing in on specific needs of an even more marginalized group within the brewing community. So for me, as the president of Pink Boots Society Greater Maryland, or not the president, co-leader, it's symbiotic and it's organic. And Rob, we've known each other long enough, and anyone in the beer community knows me long enough that I see a hole and I'm going to shove some shit in that hole. And I said, Trinice, let's do it. Let's celebrate everything that's beyond my scope. I want to learn. I want to grow. And I've had a great opportunity to learn from so many women. Last year, actually almost a year ago today, at our first Pink Boots meeting, Angela, Courtney, Kara and Trinice came up and ran a workshop on diversity and what it meant to be a woman of color in this space, and shared a lot. And it really opened my eyes. There's more that can be done. And it's as simple as just asking a brewery space, hey, can you partner with us? We just want to focus this day on a more diverse crowd. And Peabody and Eddie was like, yeah. And as soon as we put the call to action out, so many people just came forward. It is really, as much as it is laborious organizing, it wasn't hard finding people to be a part of it.
I mean, I've seen the lists online. I know Courtney's a speaker. There's a bunch of speakers, correct? There's a bunch of speakers. There's the dance part of it. There's a bunch of vendors. So, tell us we'll get to Courtney in a minute because I know she's doing a talk. How is that all like framed out as far as like obviously the vendors will be there all day.
Well,
And
yeah.
tell something about the vendors and like how the whole thing is going to mesh, basically.
So it really is a tap room takeover of the whole day. Peabody's entire hours, 12 to 9, 12 to 4:30. We have a pop-up market, and we focused on vendors who are people of color, LGBTQIA. We reserve the space for a collective of the non-traditional what you usually see in a brewery.
Right.
And we keep the fees very low so that anyone can participate, walk into a space they're not familiar with. So we have it's a very eclectic group, which is awesome. We have some embroidery artists, we have some handmade crafts, some jewelry. Some of it I don't really even like.
There's a bunch.
An eclectic art. Yeah.
There's like at least 8 vendors I saw listed.
Yeah, there's
That's
8
what
vendors.
right? Yeah, that's what craft brew is about. That's what our craft breweries are about. There are these meccas, these little cultural centers. And so for someone like me, I can be comfortable to go to Peabody Heights Brewery and learn about resources and say, hey, well, I have an accounting business, or hey, I have a catering business. How do I get growth? How do I get put on? And so this is just a great brewery to do that at, so that we can.
They're very. Courtney did that collab with them. What was that last year? 2 years ago?
Yeah.
I can't even remember now.
Yeah, I did a collab with them in June of last year. The P stands for Pay No Mind. That was paying homage to Marsha P. Johnson, a LGBTQIA activist from the Stonewall Riot. And so it was really cool to do that thing with them this year, that last year, and looking forward to doing something similar to that with another brewery this year, and bring Vitamin D back to do a show. But what I thought was interesting was when Amethyst, because y'all know I got to bring the joke to the crew. Amethyst was so politically correct, but what she really wanted to say is we're trying to not have just white guys. White guys in the brewery.
If there's a term for not bearded white dudes, Trinice knows I suffered from this the whole time. Promoting, you're like, it's for not bearded white dudes. My partner is a bearded white dude, and we have discussed whether he should be there or not.
I mean, I'm not saying that bearded white dudes shouldn't be at this event. I'm tired of going into a brewery and that's all I see is bearded, big belly white dudes. Can we get some variations of people that we see? You know what I mean? So that's what I'm all about, and that's what my brand is about. So
I'm definitely down with that, but I also feel like they should be there because they should see that there's other people in beer, not like, you know what I mean? Those people probably more than anybody need to see beer in that spotlight, in that sort of community spotlight that is for everybody, that, Latinos, Black, blah, 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 everybody. It's for everybody, right? So those people more than anybody should pull up to the curb and go inside and at least check it out for a couple beers and see what's up.
Yeah, so
we'll take their money. I'll take all their money.
Yeah. We want the bearded white guys' money, but we don't. We want to also take over the tap room for once and be in the majority. You know what I mean? So I mean, like that's one of the things that Trinice reached out to me and was like, "Hey, I'm having this event, and I would really like for you to share some words." And I'm like, "Well, what do you want me to talk about?" And I really pondered about what I should talk about on Saturday. And I think one of the things that I really want to share with them is last year I had my 35th birthday party, and it was culminated of all these cool people that I've met over the years in craft beer. When I
Right.
say it was just as many white people as there were black people, there was just as many men as there were women, and they all came from different walks of life, had different socioeconomic statuses, but the one thing we had in common is the love of beer. And I
Right.
think having the conversation around the love of beer and making it less about race and gender and more about our love for beer, I mean, it makes for a better conversation than, say, for instance, like why we in here with all these white guys. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
I also, I'm gonna challenge people that are there that are, participating in this event to be more mindful of the people that they know that, are identified with a marginalized community, to be inviting them out to breweries and having drinks with them. And like the way we get more people of color and more LGBTQIA, more women into a brewery is we invite them. We bring them with us when we having a beer and we
That
talking.
takes them that takes them out of their comfort. Like they wouldn't necessarily feel comfortable going
Exactly.
into most
I mean,
breweries. Yeah.
some of the most difficult conversations that I've ever had with people around race has been based in beer. I mean, me and Amethyst, we had a whole conversation about different things and how breweries could be more equitable in their communities and things like that. And it was based on, it started with beer. The
Right.
conversation would have never been had if it wasn't for beer. Same thing with me and Rachel Bradley, who is the marketing director for Duke Law. Our friendship started from a conversation around race. And so when you think about those kind of conversations that are very difficult for people to have in certain settings, it's much different when you can talk to anybody about anything over a beer. So
Right.
I think that's been my brand the whole time. I've kind of taken a step away because, I'm living a new lifestyle. I got kids now, so I'm busier now. I never
Right.
knew how people did this. This shit is hard. But I'm gonna say that the reality is that this is important. Like we need to be doing this work. And I think us as Baltimore and as the bloggers in this community, Trinice, Amethyst, Angela, poor Baltimore, Jackie, all of us, that we have really not been working against each other. We have been working together to make Baltimore a different kind of environment for beer. And I think we've done a really good job with the work that we've done so far, and we have a lot more work to do.
I feel like you definitely. I feel like you guys have raised awareness. I mean, I know Peabody's a very good spot for doing these things because they're very like that. Could where they're located is definitely a neighborhood that has a lot of people, LGBTQA people, and people call all that. I know that's a neighborhood that's. It'd be nice to see some of these things, and this is on the breweries to me. It's not on you guys particularly. For other breweries to reach out and be like, we want to have this at our spot. Yay or nay?
Yeah. I mean, not necessarily the same event, but definitely continual. Like, I think we definitely have enough breweries to be doing this at least quarterly,
Yes.
because I think that moving it around gets a different a volume of customer. I feel like the things that we have to deal with on the eastern side of Baltimore versus the western side of Baltimore, and even in Hamden is very different. I mean, Hamden is a very gay friendly neighborhood, so gay people been drinking there, but you
Right.
don't really see people of color. So they need more marketing and more focus around people of color. Then people on the eastern Baltimore, they need more work around, people of the LGBTQIA and women, because most of the breweries over there are full of men
Right.
and white men at that. And I think if we do a better job of working together collectively, just like Trinice has brought us in and brought us into this wonderful event, I think that we could really move mountains with the work that we're doing. I think that it's going to take all of us and all of our brains collectively to be able to do something like this.
Trinice, have you reached out to other breweries locally about doing, we won't say this event particularly, but similar events?
I have. I've talked to a lot of people on how they should go about doing it. That was one of the things we discussed at CBC, but just going around to different places in the U.S. and visiting breweries and helping them engage, to other customers. That's essentially what it is. Because it's not just a Black thing. How are you treating your hard of hearing customers or anyone that's differently able than you are? How are you handling people who are just short like me? And may not be able to reach the hooks. I mean, just all these little tiny pieces and nuances that can either make me feel great when I'm there or, like, well, it was a good experience, but I'll never go back.
Right. I think this is one of those things too, that more breweries should reach out about these kind of things, because it only brings more people to your space, which means more business, which means more money.
It does, but you have to.
Business, that's what you want to make, is money, right?
You do, but you have to change that narrative first. Of course, it's nothing personal. My background is just business. It's just money. But at the same time, if your narrative is, well, I don't want to, increase my money, and then I have these kind of people coming in. And so what is your narrative when it comes to what a Black person is, or what a trans woman is, or anything? What is your narrative? Because you might think that you don't want their money because they may, stain or tarnish your image as a brewery. And there are people who really think that way. So, you're right on point, Rob. I don't want to preach to the choir. I also want to create with Amethyst and, Courtney and Angela, I want to create these safe spaces. So, you don't have to have a prep in your mind before you go into this brewery to prep yourself to be a certain kind of way, or to have your shield ready just in case someone says anything. But at the same token, I want to have, because Amethyst knows I ain't gonna lie, I like a good looking white brother with a beard. But at the same time, I want them to be able to be open enough to receive whatever conversations come our way and not feel offended by it or taken aback by it. Like, we can't have those conversations. Right. And that's where Courtney came in. When I met Courtney, she was unapologetically herself. Right. And she really taught me how to be my authentic self. I didn't have to be a piece of me here, a piece of me there. When I'm at a brewery, I can now be all of whomever Trinice is that day, because Courtney allowed me to be my authentic self wherever I go. I don't have to make other people feel, comfortable, because I want to be myself. And so that's what it all comes down to as well.
So, Rob, one of the great things that Courtney let me know in her authentic way, and it was, and it's been kind of my mission since she shared this with me, is, nobody's going out saying, no brewery is like, we're purposely bigoted. Right. But there's just nuances.
Actions speak louder than words, though. Actions speak louder than words. You can tell.
But what if you don't know what to do or how to? Well,
and that's what Courtney, just like training your bar staff to have a script. Like Eric, who Brew Gods, who's actually part of this event too, was talking about, when you walk into a space, you observe what's happening with the engagement of the person in front of you, the person behind you, and you experience it differently. Right. And after speaking with both Courtney and Eric, like trying to coach front of house to have not a robotic script, but being aware of how you engage with people, because perception is truth. When you are super excited to see one person, whether they're a regular or not, and the person behind them gets a different greeting, that experience is internalized. And just making sure that you're front of, Courtney, that this has stuck with me, and you would be amazed how many heads I butt on this. And it is like, this is, I heard you, and I now witness this happening in so many spaces. just being aware that every customer is just as important as the last customer. And like I said, no company is out there saying, yes, we are intentionally turning away money, but that you also need to be open to learning and engaging how to invite money into your space. And there's an entire community who wants to give you their money.
Trinice, when you did the thing at Craft Brewers Conference, it was Craft Brewers Conference, right? With the diversity thing, and you went around to different bars. Was that part of the thing they were like sort of demonstrating? Was that a focus of conversation in the meetings, in those panel discussions?
It wasn't. It was me doing a lot more research for my next panel or talk would be. I need to speak to anyone and anybody who's willing to talk to me, because everyone has different experience. I'm a Black woman, Courtney's a Black woman, but our experiences are completely different, you know?
Right.
So, yeah, and so I have to talk to anyone I can, but it actually came about just because we got so many questions from breweries who were asking, how do we engage? How do we engage with Black people? Straight up. How do we engage with people of the LGBT plus community? I'm straight up asking, we don't know. Or thinking that they're in an area where it's majority white, and so it's going to be tough to do it anyway. But you know, as we all know, probably about 5-10 minutes down the street, you have an all Black neighborhood, right? So invite them on down. So that's really how those conversations came about. And then, you know, talking to more people and thinking about the economic impact of craft beer. Again, we don't just need brewers. We need those too, but we need to see women of color in all hosts of positions when it comes to entertainment. You know, who are you looking for your entertainment? Right. Who are you looking for your art? Who are you looking for your graphic design, your HR? Who are you looking as your influencers and paying them to represent you online? It's a huge web that can really increase a lot of social and economic impact within communities. And it can help benefit you too, right? You don't want to be in a community that's ran down consistently when you have a chance to help it out, because that person can help the next person. And that's just how it works.
So it's different for Angela, right? I mean, it's the same, but a little bit different.
It is actually, I would say the same. I mean, obviously it's different in each person's situation. But as a Latina, when I start drinking, because I am a craft beer girl as well, and when I started drinking craft beer, I can tell you, I got a lot of looks when I walked in any brewery, especially because I was the only Latina walking probably in all Montgomery County breweries. And the question was like, you drink beer? And I'm like, yeah. You know, it's a surprise, you know, and I agree with Courtney and Amethyst and Trinice, because not only the owners, but the team members of the bar have to, you know, be mindful about who walks into your brewery. And yes, I have experienced, you know, like the treatment to a white person in front of me and then how they treat me. And it took me a while because, you know, the impact of somebody see a Latina walking in a brewery when they just started. It's probably weird because they don't know how to approach somebody based on their race. To be honest, the only thing I can tell you is now I visit so many breweries that the approach is just being nice and mindful and respectful. Right. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. Be respectful and be mindful, just like you are to everybody in the room, regardless of their color or their race. You know, it is sad to see sometimes the way I have seen in some places how they treat a person of color, or how they treat that I have to go and stand up and talk to somebody, and we shouldn't have to do that at this point. You know, we have to create that unity. We have to create that love between the whole entire business. You mentioned money, but I tell you that money doesn't come if you don't love what you're doing with intentions. You can want and crave all the money you want. You can create events every year, left and right, multicultural. That's not going to bring you the money. What is going to bring you the money is the intention and the love that you have for the things that you love doing. And if you are not honest and you're not unique about it and you are not genuine about loving people, you're not going anywhere. I am grateful to be connected with Courtney. And how we met Courtney? Through beer. How I met Amethyst? Through beer. How I met Miss Tranes? Through beer. So beer is definitely an amazing tool to be able to break all those walls that we keep building between each other for no reason. Right?
Cheers.
I also would like
Cheers.
to add that.
So
So
tell us a little
another,
bit about the lineup for this thing. So how's it working? Like I don't. So it starts at noonish, right? It starts at 12, and it's free, right?
Mhm.
It's a free event. So people should go and support what's happening. They should support the vendors. They should some. Is there a special beer for it?
Oh yeah.
Oh
You want
yeah,
to
of
tell
course.
about it, because yeah. Campy.
Why you gonna have something at a brewery and not have a special beer for an event? Who does that, Rob? Like who does that?
I'm just I'm just asking.
That's right.
We like Beyonce up in here. We gotta come with the newness. You know what I'm saying? We coming with the newness. Who runs the world? Girls. Duh.
Yes,
So what's the
Peabody
beer?
Heights Brewery. Their new beer release will be Campy. It's a nod to Ray Campanella, who again, through beer, I learned a whole lot about thanks to Peabody Heights because I didn't know about him as much.
Right.
But of course, he played with the Baltimore, how do you say it, Amethyst?
Light Giants.
Light Giants. And that's actually where Peabody's location stands today. That used to be one of their fields where they played baseball, and got picked up by people like the Yankees and others. So, this was a perfect time to get all the sisters of color and all of the people, in Baltimore together and celebrate Roy Campanella, celebrate who he was and what he did for Baltimore, but also just celebrate Baltimore City and the amazing people in it, like Amethyst and Angela and poor Baltimore Finn and, Courtney right here, who's been doing this for a long time.
Right.
So, it's just, again, another one of those things. It's a Pilsner. It is delicious. It has a wonderful, wonderful fragrance to it. Very easy drinking. I could easily have had 3, but it was morning time, so I paced myself.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Hey, you already know. But it's an incredible beer. It's really good. I can't recommend it enough. So, and it's not just because some of the proceeds are going to Lifting Lucy. Like once you taste this liquid, it's legit.
So some of the proceeds are going to Lifting Lucy then.
Yes, some of the proceeds. So I think we're going to do just like any other brewery. At least $1 from every beer that's served, that's poured, will go to Lifting Lucy, and of course our money always goes to women who need travel assistance, who need scholarships to attend major conferences, and things of that nature. And that's what we're going to continue to do. So we're really, really extremely proud of Peabody and just how unwavering they've been with their commitment, even, down to when they distribute this beer. They asked if we would, be okay with them continuing to distribute and continue to help us with proceeds. So all love in Baltimore. I'm always there. I live in PG, but as Amethyst knows, I'm always hanging in Baltimore, partly because of these amazing.
I don't never see you, but I don't never see you.
No, we drink at 9 a.m. Courtney, 9 a.m.
I'm still recuperating from Courtney's birthday party last year. That's how.
But in all seriousness, I did want to add this, Rob, before we get off of here. Because I'm one of the older ones that's been doing this for a minute, holding these breweries accountable, putting needs to necks and telling people like, listen, we need black people, we need gay people, we need women up in here. I think in a time when we come in like off of the pandemic and a lot of breweries have like suffered financially, like you need to reinvent yourself. This is a perfect opportunity to rebrand yourself and get yourself in a position to where you can actually show up for these marginalized communities and it can benefit your business, not just in money, but in representing something greater than ourselves. And
Right.
I being that I work for Waverly and I see what the pandemic has done to smaller businesses and things like that. Like I know y'all need help. So just come on, let's do it. Like, what are you waiting on? Like, I mean, it's nothing. You already making beer and you already selling it to white bearded dudes. So come on, like what you got to lose? You already doing bad, so you might as well.
WBDs? Is that what you're gonna start calling them? WBDs?
Yes. Oh, that's our next beer.
Yeah, so
WBDs.
You don't have to
We'll
give me
give her
any
the
credit for
ideas.
that.
but I will say that Mel at Waverly has given me a lot of say so and things that we can do at the brewery because they've rebranded themselves, they've created tap lines. So if y'all want to do another event similar to this, like let me know so we can try to make this happen at Waverly because I feel like Waverly has a great outside space, inside space. They make good beer. Roy is a genie with the brewing and everything. So I think that honestly these little breweries like that'd be the best ones though. That'd be the best
Mm-hmm.
ones.
Mm-hmm. For sure. All right. So it starts at noon. Money's going to Lifting Lucy. When are the talks? Like when is Courtney? When is Finn? Are those in the afternoon? Because I know there's like a comedy show or something at night. Is that part of the whole thing?
It is. It is.
Seems like a
Amethyst, like
marathon.
I said, she's been grinding. Yeah, she's been grinding, working hard. So we do have a comedy show, and she can tell you a little bit more about that. But again, if you want to know any of the agenda, it will be updated this evening. But the agenda is on the Eventbrite. But I would love for Amethyst to tell more about the comedy because I'm
And
ready
we
for
want to
that
know
one.
when
I need to.
Angela and the dance troupe is going to be there and all that. We need to know all this stuff.
Yeah, so the daytime is pop-up market. We have two main food vendors, Peace and Hominy, and So
Ooh, I like
Beachy
that.
Asian Cuisine. Our food vendors are also going to make sure that we diversify the palette. We have some local desserteries, some cupcakes. Yeah. So during the day is like really kind of more family oriented. Come stroll, hang out, grab some beers. Athletic Brewing is going to be there. They do a full line of non-alcoholic, every style you could ever want. And then we have a DJ, and then there'll be speakers. What we want to do is make sure that we showcase that you can be into craft beer and not have to work at a brewery. So people like Courtney, Philip Pilgrim, who's Art Nail, will be there just showing his artwork and how he works in labels, so people can just see all the ways you can be involved in this industry. Once we get to the sunset, we'll Tony I, who is a local trans musician, will start us off at 4 with some of his song mastery, and then Angela and her dance troupe is at 5. And then we have a comedy show starting at 7:30. Now the comedy show is 6 local artists. Our headliner is trans, and all our other artists also make sure that are part of, again, not white bearded, no WBDs. Yeah. And then we have also graciously, between Trinice and I, we've gotten sponsorship. We have the National Brewers Association gave us a DEI. Tendeco gave us some money. We have a certified ASL team coming to do the comedy show in American Sign Language. So the cool. Team from from Streetcar 82, which is our deaf-owned and run brewery over in Hyattsville, they're all coming up to be a part of this too.
You know what I saw online the other day, and I thought this was cool. And of course, I had never really thought about it. Obviously, was like breweries that are doing their menu in Braille now, which is very cool. Like, and I feel like that's like it would be an easy thing for people to do. I don't know.
I discussed a million things that breweries could be doing with Amethyst that breweries could be doing that are free,
right,
to make things more equitable. Like, for instance, we talked about breweries. Most people can't afford an $8 beer.
right.
So what do you have that's $5, $6? You know what I'm saying? Like a regular standard beer that's $5 that I can drink as much as I want. Because I mean, even if I want the $8 beer, maybe I don't want to pay every beer be $8. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That makes it more equitable. Making the menu in Braille, putting the menu up visually as well as on papers in front of you on the bar, so people that can't see that far can actually pick it up and read it. You
Right.
know, like having descriptions of what everything means in layman's terms. And then you can't just say, oh, the aromatics and all this other stuff. Some people don't know what none of that shit mean. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So if I'm just regular and I'm coming into a brewery and all I've been drinking is Amstel Light, I don't know shit about that. I just want to drink a beer and I want to drink it and know what the hell I'm drinking. So can you explain it to me, sir? Yes. These are free things that you could be doing.
I think now you're right, exactly. Because I feel like there's a lot of things that can be done easier because look at how QR codes have blown up, right?
Yeah.
So you can do like QR codes for a lot of this stuff.
But
You know what I
even
mean?
QR codes can be considered privilege because what if I don't have
You
a
have a cell
smartphone?
phone. Right.
You know what I'm saying?
True.
That's why you gotta be, we gotta do universal design. Some people can see far, some people can't see far. You know what I mean? It's thinking outside the box. Just like we take our kids to school every day, we expect that teacher to be able to teach them no matter whatever disability or ability they have. It's the same thing is true when we go to give money to our businesses. They gotta be more cognizant of this. I mean, it's just crazy. And like I said to her, having a script saying, hey, have you been to this brewery before? What do you normally drink? That's a conversation that you can have. That's a conversation starter. I say I drink Heineken. Okay, well, I don't have anything like Heineken, but I have something similar and it's like this, and I think you should taste it. You see how different that conversation is? If I talk to everybody like that, then it can't possibly be racist, can it?
Right.
Like it can't. So like I think it's just like having these conversations with these brewers and brewing owners, like they gotta understand this stuff. This stuff is old as ages, man. Like it's just come on.
I'm gonna put on a t-shirt now. Come on, man. Yeah. Right.
That's our third beer we're gonna make. Come on, man.
But then
That's probably already been.
Right. The flip side is we're finding out, and we know it, but we can see it in numbers now, even with TV shows, with a lot of things. People are craving diversity. You know, this world is a gray world. It's not black and white. It's not black and white. It's gray. You know, so if I come in and I'm a white man, but you don't know that my wife is black, or, you know, my best military bud is a Latin guy, or, you know, you just don't know someone's story. And we're all craving diversity, but a lot of us are scared to just say, you know, hey, I don't know how to get this going. I need help. And that's all it comes down to.
Agreed. Well, this is very informative because I've only seen stuff on Facebook about it, but I apologize because I never really delved into it because I was like, and then I was just like, I mean, I'll give them. I was like, maybe they need to get it out to a few more people so people understand what's happening because I'm sure people were going through it and be like, I don't know what this is about, whatever. So hopefully this helps a little bit. Just maybe a few more butts of the seats out there for you. It sounds cool. I got to work, so I'm not going to be there, but it sounds cool. And like,
nothing can stop us. We all the way up. We all the way up.
This Courtney, Finn, Artnale. Okay, cool.
Brew Gods, Eric at Brew Gods.
Okay. All right.
I invited the guys from Brews and Banter.
Is Amethyst, are you speaking?
I'm always.
You're always speaking, but I mean, are you speaking?
I think Trinice's fit me in here and there. I'll kind of do some opening remarks.
You're the MC.
I will constantly be reminding people that we'll have QR codes on every table for donations, and I will constantly be reminding people that while free doesn't cost nothing.
Free isn't free necessarily.
Well, I'm gonna say that in my speech too.
Free doesn't have
Y'all think all this stuff happened for free? Go ahead and pull out your phone because I know you got at least $5. Come on.
Yeah, no. So the comedy show we've booked is the same booking agent that does several breweries in the area, and it's a $25 ticket that most breweries charge, and that's without beer. So like when you say the fact that we are like, come join us for the same experience for free, you can throw down $5.
Yeah, donations accepted and expected.
You know, I'm just saying. I mean, I can make sure vitamin D show up, and then maybe give a show. Now, nah, no vitamin D though. This is not that kind of environment.
Rob, it was really important because, like Courtney touched on earlier, one of the disconnects from, especially in Baltimore City, from the immediate community and the craft beer community is there's a perceived cost to hang out in these spaces.
Right.
And we wanted to make sure that when we invited the community in, everything from our fees for the vendors, we kept them minimal just to kind of confirm that they'll show up, to not charging anything. We did do a couple, there are some VIP experiences for people who really want to like blow it up that day. There's a VIP ticket during the daytime session that includes a brewery tour of Peabody and tasting with both Eddie and his father. You'll get a walkthrough on the history of Oriole Park and the brewery, as well as carry out beers. And then for the comedy show, the VIP ticket it includes some beers, the VIP lounge with the comedians, and front row seating.
Okay. So that stuff's all available on the Peabody website?
It's through the Facebook and or Eventbrite all the way up.
Okay. Okay. Very cool. Well, good luck, everybody. Angela, it was nice to meet you virtually. Good luck with the dance thing. That sounds super cool. Are you guys going to do... like for the dancing, you should do like an Instagram Live thing. You gonna do anything Instagram Live?
No, that's why you have to come. You know, you have to come and enjoy. This is about the whole entire experience.
We done with virtual, man.
The people, you know what I mean?
Over.
That's where the event is.
I can't come and I want to see it.
Okay, now you're gonna have to come to the next one. You know, whatever you catch us now. Now you're gonna have to follow us and be like, you know what, where you guys are going? Because this is just the
Angela is sick of
an
virtual.
amazing explosion.
Angela's sick of virtual. We did virtual for 2 years. We tired of that.
Well, there you go. You're right. Everybody needs to actually connect with other humans. You're right.
Yes, it's gonna be amazing because like I say, I'm gonna be playing like a home, which is our traditional drumming instrument, and I'm gonna take that opportunity to be engaging with the public, and it's gonna be a magical moment because no one have done it in Maryland, and I am really excited to be able to experience that energy and that whole entire passion through music and through our bodies during this amazing event.
Listen, you want to come because the hips don't lie. Listen,
Shakira.
I've been watching
the hips don't lie. You want to come because the hips don't lie.
As a matter of fact, thanks to Amethyst and Checkers Brewery in Baltimore, that was one of my first classes in Baltimore. So I am so happy for that opportunity, and now to be able to be part of, together as a community is something that I actually dream of, but I didn't have the space to do that. And, look how amazing it is to be able to connect through beer and through the craft beer community and the culture of drinking, because there's a difference between just drinking and then drinking, the craft beer. And I'm a Latina, so, we drink in the early age, and we probably drink Coronas and Pilsen in Peru. But coming here, when you come and approach a bartender and they throw you, like Courtney said, they throw you all this language. I'm like, okay, I I'm a Spanish medical interpreter, but I cannot still understand what you're saying. So be mindful. I think is like a good start. So to all the brewers out there, owners, brewers, and bartenders, just be mindful of the people that walk into your brewery, because literally we just want to drink and have fun as much as you like to enjoy the beer.
There it is. We'll leave on that, 'cause that's words of wisdom right there.
I'm also want to say that I'm really proud of Trinice and Amethyst for making this happen and asking me to be a part of this. I'm glad that I'm the OG in the crew and that I got all of this started and these conversations being had. And now I get to see like the fruits of my labor and how it grows and it multiplies into all these people doing wonderful things. So if me coming to speak for you guys is all that I have to contribute, I'm really happy to be able to do that for you. So I appreciate being a part of this.
There you go. Perfect. Well, thanks, guys. I appreciate everybody coming on, chatting a little bit. Hopefully you have a good crowd on Saturday. I know you will. Enjoy your day. Cheers. Liquid Death.
Oh, yeah. Look at you,
This beer is fire.
I had to show the pitorro.
Oh, yeah.
This beer is fire.
Right there, baby.
Is that
fire, bro?
It's a traditional rum right here. So, it's a special moment, and I am grateful to be able to share this with you guys tonight. Thank you for the energy, the time, and the love that you put in this event. And, it takes every little single piece to come together. So thank you, Rob, for having us, with your show today.
All right, very good, guys. Cheers. I would drink that beer, Courtney, but I'm allergic to peanuts, so I can't drink that beer. So I guess
I'm allergic to nuts too.
All right, we're leaving it on that. Thanks, guys. See ya. That was great. All right. That was great. We'll leave it on that joke. That was terrific. All right. Thanks, everybody. I'll talk to you soon. We have a couple things coming up over the next month. We're pretty scattered with this. I think Lee Lord from Narragansett is going to join us in a couple of weeks. Schlafly Brewing is joining us in a couple of weeks. We're still working on a couple other things, but I appreciate everybody watching tonight, and I'll talk to everybody soon. Head over to Peabody this weekend and enjoy what's happening over there. Thanks, everybody.